Good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. Of course, all the media folks that are here, and everyone's great network that is here supporting our outstanding honorees this morning. So, one of the things that I get to do as a state senator, in addition to working on important policies and making sure that our community gets its fair share of resources, I also get the chance to provide awards recognizing people that, in my very humble opinion, do the good work. And all of the honorees here today embody that. You are and you represent the best of the Southern Tier and the best of our state in the area of education. And it is my honor to recognize you by nominating you for receiving a Commendation Award. Just to give a little more background on the Commendation Award. The Commendation Award is the highest award that we can give in the New York State Senate to individuals for their outstanding contributions to our community and to our state. And so when thinking about community leaders who are leading in education, whether as school board members, whether it's principals, most certainly advocates, and so much more. And as someone who's a former educator myself, and someone who got their start doing community organizing as an education organizer, I don't think anyone would argue the importance and the foundational necessity we have for education. We know that education is a pathway for our collective progress. It is what helps all of us to thrive. And we all can think of that favorite principal, that school board member, that administrator that took a little extra time with us to help us along our educational journey, whether we were derivating from script or most certainly well on our way doing all our things academically. We know the power of educators, and most certainly as a state, it is our responsibility, but more importantly, it's an opportunity to ensure that we lift up and recognize those educators that every single day go above and beyond their respective role, that they are helping to shape the minds and helping to foster the creativity and the imagination of our future leaders. As I said, educators play such a powerful role, not only here in the state, but in our society. And so it is my distinct honor and pleasure to recognize today's honorees, to lift up your voices, to share the great work that you do. Now, I know you do it not seeking credit. That is not what drives you to do it. And if it is, we won't talk about it. But I know it's not. Most certainly it is not. And you spend a lot of time helping families to navigate complex community issues as well. We know collectively our educators are tasked with doing and carrying a lot of burden and helping our students navigate life. And so it is for all of these reasons and so many more that I'm proud today to recognize today's honorees from across Senate District 52. So give yourselves a round of applause. So, as I already mentioned, the New York State Senate Commendation Award is the highest award that we can give to individuals for outstanding contributions in our community and in our state. And so in no particular order, so I'm gonna set the table like that. I don't want anyone feeling like, see why she called that person first. No particular order. Your contributions most certainly are a testament to your leadership and so much more. So I'm gonna start with Dr. Sean Eversley Bradwell, and I'm gonna share a little bit more about Dr. Eversley Bradwell. So, hailing from Tompkins County, right across the river here, Dr. Eversley Bradwell is an assistant professor in the Department of Education at Ithaca College. Now, for anyone that knows Sean, knows that he is someone that does the good work and does not seek credit. He is all about connecting people together from every background. He understands the power and significance of education in his own life and most certainly in his family circle. He has a large family, y'all. He is also an alumnus of Amsterdam High School, where he received a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science, also from the University of Rochester, an MS in Education, a Master's of Science from Rochester's Margaret Warner Graduate School of Education and Human Development, and a PhD in Policy Analysis in Management from the Cornell University. Throughout his career, Dr. Eversley Bradwell has committed his service to education, and his education, his commitment to it didn't stop with him. He also has given his time as the president of the board of the Ithaca City School District. And so for anyone who serves on the school board, there's a little tiny bit of pressure because you are responsible for shaping and molding the policies that govern the respective school district. And so not only has Dr. Eversley Bradwell had an outstanding career in education, he also is committed to making the community better. And so it is for all of these reasons and so much more. I won't talk about our shared love of sports. I won't talk about his particular team that he's a passionate fan of. Okay, I will say it, the New York Knicks. But he is not only a devoted educator, he is also a devoted husband, parent, grandparent, and so much more. And anytime you have a conversation with Sean, he has just an incredible ability to draw you in, regardless of where you may come from. And so he speaks with such passion, such insight, and dedication, enthusiasm. And so these are all the things that you hope for in an educator, but more importantly in a public servant. And so he has and continues to blaze a trail for many to follow. And if you were to poll any student or any teacher or any administrator that he has crossed paths with, or community member, you would be hard pressed to find anyone that would have anything disparaging to say other than he is truly the embodiment of a public servant. And so for all of those reasons and many more, I would like to formally present Dr. Sean Eversley Bradwell with the 2024 New York State Senate Commendation Award. Woo!
Senator Webb made the mistake of asking if I would like to say something. And I'll keep my comments about 15, 20 minutes. But as a faculty member and a trained educator, I did write a little something to honor my family. And so if you'll bear with me, if I timed it out correctly, it should be about 2 minutes and 14 seconds. I am deeply humbled to receive this recognition from Senator Webb. And as many know, teaching is not a job, it's a calling. And I've been called to be an educator. I feel honored to be able to encourage and assist in the development of the next generation of thinkers, innovators, movers, shakers, helpers, supporters, developers, and most importantly, community members. My parents raised me to recognize my good fortune. Hard work, yes, but the work goes well beyond the work day. And so thank you to my spouse, to my parents, to my extended family, many of whom are here with me today, for being role models that embody the connection between resilience and responsibility. I find strength, optimism, and joy in our collective struggle. My career in community service has been singularly focused on creating the best educational systems for all young people in Tompkins County, the Southern Tier, and beyond. and I find joy in my role as Ithaca College's Director for the Center of the Study of Culture, Race, and Ethnicity, as a faculty member at Ithaca College's Department of Education, where I am blessed to spend the day actively recruiting, encouraging, and mentoring undergraduate students to become educators and teachers. And as an elected official, I am also aware of the impact that we can have. For the past 15 years, I've served on the Ithaca City School District Board of Education. For the past 8 years, serving as a board officer and currently serve as the board president. I understand the gravity of our times. And as a colleague of mine said this past weekend, education is on the November ballot. I am proud to serve as an educator in the Southern Tier for the past 3 decades, and with the blessings of those who came before me, I look forward to serving for another 30 years. But most importantly, I want to thank you, Senator Webb. I am grateful for your commitment and dedication to education, and I am continually inspired by your authentic demonstration of leading by example. Thank you all. I'm humbled.
Keep this celebratory energy going, I now would like to introduce Mr. David Hawley. So, me and Mr. Hawley go way, 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 way back. I won't tell you all of the stories, but we don't have enough time. But David Hawley, just to share with you about who he is from the very first time I met him, there was no doubt or question that he was committed to ensuring the well-being of our students. And as someone who is from this area, again, who has committed themselves to being a public servant, not only in education, but also as a veteran, you understand firsthand the importance of sacrifice for the greater good. And so, just to share with you a little bit more about Mr. Hawley, he is a graduate of Maine Enwell High School and SUNY Binghamton. Shout out to the Binghamton University alums, SUNY alums, no shade to anybody else, we welcome everyone. His college career was interrupted by a 3-year stint in the U.S. Army, including a tour of duty in Vietnam, where he received the Army Commendation and Bronze Star medals. After graduating from college, Mr. Hawley worked for 3 years with Child Protective Services before beginning a 32-year career with the Social Security Administration. He also served for 22 years in the New York Army National Guard. He has responded to a whole number of emergencies and disasters across the state, including the World Trade Center. Like Vice President candidate Tim Walz, he served as an acting battalion command sergeant major, but he retired a grade lower as a first sergeant. He has lived on the south side of Binghamton for the past 47 years with his wife Carol, who's here with him today. I am also a proud south sider of Binghamton, again, purely coincidence. And so in 1995, he began his first term on the Binghamton City School District Board of Education. And he served on that board for 24 years. So as I said, Mr. Hawley has gone above and beyond and continues to go above and beyond for our students here in the city of Binghamton. And he currently is the vice president of the Broome Tioga Board of Trustees as well. Now, I know that Mr. Hawley, anytime I have ever crossed paths with you in any capacity, you have the most engaging and welcoming presence. You want to make sure that anyone that you encounter leaves better than when they first met you. And that is a true gift. It is a talent that it has to be within you in order to do that. And so that's why I said we have many stories. He has also received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the New York State School Boards Association, another great statewide ally that I have most certainly worked with in my current capacity as a senator and most certainly as an education advocate. So for all of these reasons, Mr. David Hawley, and many more. I want to thank you for your continued commitment to ensuring that every student here in Broome County and beyond receives a quality education, that they go on to become even more greater leaders, leaving an indelible print on our community. So please join me in welcoming and congratulating Mr. David Hawley for being our 2024 Commendation Award.
Thank you, Senator Webb. This really is a great honor. I appreciate it. Actually, when I first met Senator Webb, was way back. Some of you will remember the days of the campaign for fiscal equity. We were all fighting for adequate and equitable funding for New York. We're still fighting that fight. And we have another opportunity this year. We're going to relook at the foundation aid formula, so that's exciting. I'd like to thank my superintendent and assistant superintendent, Rebecca Stone and Tom McNair, for being here today from BOCES. My wife Carol, who has been a school board widow for many years. I know that those of you on the board understand that. All the missed events and stuff when we were going to conventions and conferences and meetings. She suffered through all that for many years now. But as school board members, we try to ensure that our staff have the adequate resources and the support they need to continue their job. But make no mistake about it, the real heroes of public education are those with the boots on the ground. Those teachers, administrators, aides and monitors, cafeteria staff, bus drivers, custodial staff, all those people every day who go in there and work with our children and do the best they can to give them the best opportunities to succeed. Our real appreciation goes to them. Thank you.
Okay, so continuing in Broome County, I now would like to lift up Mr. Peter Stewart. So I have, similarly with David Hawley, I have had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Stewart, for those who know him. His students most certainly call him that, for quite some time. And he is one of our great principals in the Bennington City School District. He is someone who, again, anytime you meet him, whether you are a parent, whether you are a student or a teacher, he really tries to ensure that you are just as enthusiastic as he is about the importance and power of education. He is someone that has committed his life to education. He lives on the east side of Bennington and is a proud husband and father. He has 5 children. His wife and daughter are also teachers. His son is a social worker. So keeping that family legacy of education alive and well in the Stewart household. He has spent the last 34 plus years in education and 25 years as a principal in urban and rural school districts. He is an education consultant for Ed Tomorrow Restorative Practices. And as those of us in this room who are familiar with restorative practices, this is something I'm very passionate about when we talk about the very real challenges of the school to prison pipeline that disproportionately impacts boys and girls of color. And so restorative practices are a great way to rectify and change that system And this is what he does as a principal, and that's where he focuses his energy through an equity-based model to education and approach. He's also a former director of special education. He also taught at PS 29, District 7 in the South Bronx, which is one of the poorest districts in New York City. He, in his role as a principal, again, he is always finding ways to support his teachers and most certainly students and their families. He literally is committed to ensuring that every student that comes into his building and beyond is prepared, but also has a well-rounded experience in the school. Your contributions to education are truly inspiring. You are, as I would say, a principal's principal, where you really set the tone in trying to ensure that not only that our students are performing well, but the governance that comes and responsibility that comes with being a principal, that you embody that in the best ways possible. And so for all of these reasons and so much more, I'm pleased to present to you the 2024 Commendation Award from the New York State Senate. Please join me in congratulating Mrs. Stewart.
I'm going to take a page out of Dr. Sean's playbook. 2 minutes and 13 seconds. I'm going to do 2 minutes and 9 seconds. How's that? So truly, it's very humbled to receive this award. And again, I feel like, you know, a life without service to other people is not a life. That was something that my mother taught us growing up in the Bronx. Those of you who know me know I love my students like my own kids. It really is all about relationships. That's where we start and that's where we end everything at Horace Mann, and that has embodied my whole career. When kids walk in my building, I want them to feel safe, I want them to feel nurtured, I want them to feel loved. The teachers who work at Horace Mann embody everything I just mentioned. And again, we have a great school and we go above and beyond to really try to make sure that our kids have a solid foundation to have a good life. And really, that's what it's all about. I'm glad that Lea mentioned my work at Restorative Practices, and I've had the privilege over the last 2 years to travel all around the country and consult with school districts and actually train leaders and teachers on what restorative practices is all about. And again, it's really all about establishing those positive relationships. It's really about working with students and families and making authentic connections. It's really about pushing diversity and equity. And so I'm really proud of that work. And again, it is truly a pleasure to receive this award and to be affiliated with Lea Webb. I remember when she was running her campaign, how excited I was. I was talking to Mr. Whalen about how I was knocking on my neighbor's doors and saying, "You guys know Lea Webb? Lea who?" And look where Lea is right now. So congratulations and thank you for this wonderful award. Thank you.
And last but most certainly not least, Mr. Dick Testa, So he is clearly here representing his pride for Union Endicott, the Tigers. So I wanted to recognize Mr. Testa, and I want to share a little bit more about him as well. You know, every single honoree today, again, we'd say 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. For anyone that's in education, that's a long time. I would even say 5 years. And so all of our honorees today, when you think about the amount of time that they have committed and still commit to ensuring that all of our children have a better chance at life, it is so important that we lift them up. And Mr. Testa is a testament to that, most certainly. So, for the last 26 years, he has been a member of the Union Endicott Board of Education and serving for the past 7 years as the president. He is a very proud graduate of Union Endicott, class of 1961, class of 19XX. He is also a charter member of the UE Education Foundation and has been a member since 2003. He has been recognized as an alumni having made a difference. He is also the recipient of the PTA Founders Day Lifetime Award. He is also a member of the UE Athletic Hall of Fame, and he's also a proud father and proud husband. He is joined here today with his wife. He is also the co-founder of the 2015 Endicott Proud, which is a Union Endicott Board Advisory Team who has taken the charge to ensure that Endicott has access to better opportunities. And he's been a volunteer for the last 26 years, helping children to learn how to read in elementary classrooms. And he currently visits 16 classrooms a week. And we know how important improving literacy rates are in our state. That's why one of the things that I'm proud to be connected to is that we actually have a statewide task force on addressing literacy here in New York, because we know we have a lot of work to do there. But Mr. Testa, he's been on it. So he not only provides his time in the area of education and also community orgs, he also has been, for the last 41 years, with the Endicott Serotonin Service Club, serving for the last 8 years as president. He's also, like Sean, a sports enthusiast as well. He has also been involved with youth baseball. Also 14 years as the American Legion Post-82 baseball coach. And he was the New York State champions in 1983. So he has spent many, many years committing himself to education and public service. He is someone, when you talk about Union Endicott, he wears that not only on his sleeve, but carries it in his heart. And so he is someone that is, as they say, Endicott proud. He truly embodies that and so much more. He, again, is someone that we most certainly are appreciative of for his commitment, his continued commitment. And so for all of these reasons and so much more, I am very proud to extend my pride to Mr. Testa to being our 2024 Commendation Award recipient. Please join me in congratulating him.
Thank you. As Senator Webb said at the beginning, those of us here today receiving these awards don't do what we do so that we get rewards and awards for them. It's just, it's just something we do. I want to thank my wife for putting up with me for all these years and letting me do what I want to do. she just had to deal with just me being me, and I don't want to get into all the reasons she puts up with me, but thank you. I really feel that God chose me to be a volunteer. When I was in the military during the Vietnam War, I was in Texas at a training center for the whole 2 years, and I feel like guilty that I didn't go to Vietnam. But I believe that he had a better plan for me in the future, and that is to be a volunteer. And I've been volunteering virtually my whole life. I started as an altar server at Lady Good Counsel Church when I was 10 years old, and I'm still serving Mass at Our Lady Good Counsel Church. When I got out of the service, I got involved in Little League. Actually, in my senior year in college, I became a Little League coach in Endicott, and I was on the board there for 36 years. I was a coach for 8 years, and then I was a board member for the whole time I was there at Endicott, so I served the Little League for many, many years. I coached the American Legion team for 14 years. And then I'd always been a UE fan since my father took me to a football game when I was 10 years old. I've been fascinated by UE. So when I was asked by a friend of mine to become a board member, it didn't take much to talk me into it, especially when he told me I could give my children their diplomas at graduation. That was kind of the clincher. But it's been a labor of love. It started out being a lot of fun. It's, as everybody will attest in here now, it's not as much fun as it used to be. But, you know, kids are kids, and kids want to learn, and I want to help them learn. And that visiting these classrooms for volunteering, helping kids read, that's the most fun that I have in my whole job, and I really look forward to it. With elementary kids, they're all there to learn, and if you can help them and get them, reading is the whole key to education, everybody knows that. And so if you can get them to learn and get up to the level they're supposed to be, that makes it all worthwhile. So I really, again, thank you very much for this award, and congratulations to the other 3 recipients.
I just want to extend my appreciation to every honoree today. Thank you for your continued service. Thank you for doing it with joy. Most certainly in those moments where it can get very dark. But you truly represent the best of what it means to be a public servant, educator here in our community and in our great state of New York. So again, congratulations to all of you, and let's continue doing good work together. Thank you.